Good morning, good evening, and welcome. Yes, it's my favourite time of the week. It is time for the BDAchat. Joining me this week, as ever, they need no introduction, but I'll introduce them anyway. You may have recognised a fair few faces here. They're becoming regulars. We've got Camilla, Rob, and we've got David. And this week on BDAchat, how is everybody?
Really
Super,
good.
thank you.
Good, great to have you as ever. So this week at BDAchat, we're going to talk about marketing in the movies. We've seen some great social campaigns recently, and we just thought we'd highlight a few of those and just have a group discussion, just have a chat about what we thought's worked, what hasn't worked, and our personal takes on them, really. So, I guess someone's going to have to leap into the fray and take us forward. Into our marketing.
I don't mind doing it.
You don't mind going?
I don't mind doing it.
Okay.
Camilla's taking this. Camilla, over to you.
I looked at a couple of movies. I looked at Deadpool 2, and I looked at Black Panther. And one of them I was really interested in, and I thought it was brilliant. And the other one, I didn't think it was brilliant. I know that's going to cause a little bit of a chit chat because I know some of you love Deadpool 2. But yeah.
So you're saying that the good one was Deadpool? Or
No, I hated the Deadpool 2.
You hated the Deadpool 2?
Yes.
What, in terms of the film or in terms of the
No,
market?
I haven't actually seen the movie. The marketing has put me off so much that I'm not really interested in looking at the movie.
Well, that's good to know. See, that's Mark.
A
That's
debate.
that's good.
Let's talk about it. I don't know.
So tell us about it. Why didn't you like it?
What
Tell us about the marketing.
What elements broke down about the marketing?
Yeah, I think that the first thing for me was that they spent a year marketing it before the launch of the movie.
Okay.
That's a hell of a long time to spend a year with all those teaser comms. And what they did is, obviously, Deadpool is a parody of the superhero. That's the point of it. So the marketing matched that. So they took the same tone, they took and it was very cheeky and it was very tongue-in-cheek. But it got to the point for me where it was just annoying. The Guardian wrote a bit of a blurb about it to say how annoyed they were with the marketing, and I'd agree with them. And it said that it was like a really rubbish Family Guy. It felt like that.
Ouch!
They were really hard. Yeah, and I know you guys have different feelings about it. So it'd be good to hear other people's
about
thoughts.
the film, not about the marketing. Because to be fair, the only piece of marketing that I saw was probably the obviously the trailers, yes, but I don't see. And the only thing I saw was the David Beckham piece, and the only reason I saw that was because
I liked that one. That was the one that I quite liked.
Graham Norton.
Yeah.
I didn't see
David
this.
Beckham was on Graham Norton.
Yeah,
No.
it was on YouTube. So they filmed David Beckham, and on Deadpool 1, they were taking a mick out of David Beckham's voice.
Yes,
so they had
they
David
did,
Beckham on the sofa, and he was playing it back, and then knock on the door, and it's Deadpool, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and he's trying to make apologies, and I think that was executed quite well. It's David Beckham. Everybody loves David Beckham, and it showed the kind of naughty streak. But I think when they started to get in the realms of Celine Dion. Made the album track, and there's Deadpool in a pair of high heels dancing around her. Things like Good Housekeeping. He was on the front of Good Housekeeping magazine.
Was he really?
And it was give your family the bird or something like that. Was the kind of he's cheeky, you know. He's lots of swear words. He's lots of. That's his style, and I don't know. It just became too much for me.
The style of Deadpool is to market in areas where you wouldn't expect.
And that was cool. What they did there, you know, that they tried to do the parody. Yeah, but it almost got too much. But you know, open to conversation about it. I thought.
I suppose it was just very consistent with the tone of the movie, and if you, if you like that humour, some of this marketing is really going to appeal to you.
I think it's great.
Do you? I haven't seen half of it, but I've seen some of the tweets and stuff, and I know, is it Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Is he the right guy? Always getting muddled up with the other guy in La La Land. Is that the same guy?
No.
Anyway, Gosling, sorry. So Ryan Reynolds, but he tweets from his own account as well.
Yeah, he does.
And again, it's that involvement of him, and then there's a Deadpool parody account as well. So again, if you get that humour, and you like the humour in the movie.
He wrote the film, produced the film, or was one of the producers of the film.
Was he?
Yeah,
That's
he had a great part in bringing. He's been championed to bring Deadpool to the screen for quite a while. This is spoiler. If you've not seen Deadpool 2, I won't spoil it.
Which
but
I haven't. So
there is one part in it that he literally takes himself out. I won't explain any more of that.
What, like takes himself out as in?
He takes himself out of a timeline because it's so funny. You have to see it because he's so annoyed with the way that the franchise has been treated in the past. So he makes a stand to say this was all wrong. What we did in the past was wrong, and he quite comically sort of
No.
takes care of it.
Interesting.
Lots of twists.
So he's very he cares quite a lot about how Deadpool's and the money that because the money that I think Avengers was 300 million to produce.
Yeah.
Deadpool was 98 or something like that.
Wow.
So it's a third of the budget.
And they did that like more guerrilla marketing kind of thing with it, didn't they? And they were more rogue with it. I give it that.
It's very tongue in cheek. It's very sort of. It sums up by his. He looks over the shoulder, cheekily looking at the camera. It's that sort of. I've got a secret.
It did translate well into their marketing. Like, they did do that.
Well, it did. There was different posters and things on the first movie. Obviously, had to work harder the marketing for the first movie than it did for the second movie.
Budgets were smaller.
But yeah, they had the different types of posters to appeal to different audiences. So it wasn't just here's a superhero film. It's a little bit different. Here's a
sponsors some tequila
superhero
as well.
film that's actually for ladies as well, because it's a romantic slant.
Sorry, David, what was that for ladies?
For ladies. So there was this
Obviously, that
romantic
makes it very
slant
female.
on one of the trailers.
Yeah.
They created a fire. It was called a pool log pool or something like that, which was a Christmas. They have these fake fires that you can put on your TV when you go onto YouTube.
I had one of those at Christmas in 4K.
I was going to
But
say,
they created a Deadpool one of those as well. So you could have your Christmas Yule log, but a Deadpool log, which was burning away on your screen. So I watched that. It was
Look
like
how happy
an hour long.
David looks.
An hour
I
long.
think it's an hour long on YouTube.
Watched it for an
I
hour.
watched it for a little bit just now.
He's
Christmas carols and things going on.
He's waiting for the
It's not even
crescendo.
Christmas, David. You're
No,
still
I know.
cheating.
But look,
He's got a cold house.
there is just some clever things. It just plays the audience nice,
Yeah.
and that's a certain type of sense of humour.
Yeah.
And if you're into it, you're going to love it. If you're not,
Then you get turned off by it.
I think it's the things that
It's
are the
Marmite.
things that are outside of that marketing realm that appeal to me more. It's those little things. It's not so much
No, I like that.
the
It's
hard
marketing,
teaser
though. That
trailers
is the
or
kind
the
of-
continual
clever,
radio
it's
marketing or the press junket stuff that sometimes can be. Well, obviously they're going to say, "Oh yeah, it's the greatest film." I've loved working with Zach. It's been amazing. Well, what else are they going to say?
Yeah, and they
It's
do
the,
that
it's the little things that go outside of that.
And
like
I think
the
films are
effect.
doing
I
that
think-
more and more now. I do. I don't think it's a traditional trailer it's changed.
And I think that's where business, and I don't want to suddenly go really dry on you, but that's where business can learn the way that films are being marketed. I think we've seen it with websites or new products. You often go, website coming soon, new product launching soon. But if you actually look at films, they don't do that. It's that drip feed, that constant build-up marketing. A year in advance, we're going to drop you a little teaser to get your intrigue going. And then we're going to follow up with a bit more. And each time, just feed you a bit more about, and just build that following.
Builds that
and
excitement,
And I think there's so much to learn.
Do you wonder then if Deadpool ignored the typical trend of find out who your audience are,
Yeah.
find out when you can target them. If you can real quickly, Black Panther, they released their teaser trailer.
Hang on, is Black Panther the sequel to Pink Panther?
No.
Okay, I just need to check that.
you've been waiting to say that.
No, I just wanted to double
He
check.
banked that. I
He
bet.
said that the other day
Did
upstairs.
he?
Yeah.
Don't know what you're on about.
He's already.
Can we cut this reaction?
When are we supposed to laugh?
So they dropped the teaser.
Anyway.
They dropped the teaser for Black Panther
Tough crowd.
right in the I think it was the NBA playoffs in America, and that was their demographic. That was their target market.
Yeah.
And it worked, and no one knew it was coming. It was just like, oh my god, what's this?
Yeah.
Whereas Deadpool kind of like
They went on mass.
They
They
just
just
thought-
target
they
audience
ignored
like
it.
everybody.
I just thought, well, we'll do funny little snippets and we'll just pepper the market and see what
Yeah.
happens. But normally you'd target your market, find out what their interests are,
Yeah.
what they're when they're going to be most likely to either be sitting down watching something near a device that they can consume the trailer or whatever the piece of marketing will be. And then there's other steps you can take in terms of, do you get influencers on board to then help you promote that
Celine
content
Dion.
out?
I think there's some talking about websites. Jurassic World, they did it really well with their website that they produced, which had the temperature of the park. It had a park.
That was
layout.
last year's one.
I remember that. That
really
was so
clever.
cool.
Well, the last Jurassic
Yeah,
World.
was it Jurassic World?
Yes,
And then they're trying to lead you into buying a ticket for the park.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's a lead into actually buying a ticket to watch it at
Yeah.
the cinema.
I like that. I went on.
So I kind of believed
we all
it.
did.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's what-
that's what
I
I'm trying to-
believed
that's the
it.
point.
And
It's
obviously I was
getting you to
like,
live and breathe the
I'm going to go to
film.
America and watch
Book your
that.
ticket.
Yeah.
See what rides you can go
Jurassic
on.
World.
Fast track
What
entry
moron.
and all that.
And if you go back even further, so Blair Witch Project, it was one of the, some really clever marketing. At the point where it came out in 1999, that's how far back we're going now.
Oh my goodness.
And people didn't know whether it was
Oh my
fictional,
God,
I just remember that
yeah.
snotty nose
real,
scene.
whether
But they,
you know,
and they did clever stuff where online they had posted like things to make it sound real.
yeah,
So people were believing like, is it
Fake-
real?
I forgot about
fake
that.
police
It
reports.
was fake news.
Fake police reports. They were dropping flyers
Yeah,
saying these
I forgot
three
about
students
that.
are missing. They had an IMDb on the
Yeah.
film database for a year after the actual film was released. If you went to those individual actors' pages, it was said that they're deceased or they're
Deceased.
Wow.
were here.
Little
Really,
touches,
really
very
clever.
nice.
But you think they spent what, £60,000, $60,000 producing that, and actually the gate on it was 200, and, like millions of dollars.
It's
Hundreds of millions of
Yeah.
dollars that they got
It's a
back
very
as
low
returns
budget.
in that it grossed.
everyone saw it. Everyone rushed to see it.
I like that.
I thought it was a pretty crap film, by the by, but it showed the power of marketing done well back then. And when did you say it was? Late 90s?
1999.
It was 99.
It was quite some, before there was viral marketing, but that's
Yeah.
essentially what they were doing with it.
Guerrilla marketing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just really, really
Yeah.
clever. And
The Dark Knight did something like that.
the Dark Knight did a lot.
The Dark
yeah.
Knight did their. They had basically they started at Comic-Con and they asked all of the people
That's
that were
right.
invested in Batman to go and be part of Joker's henchmen and be part of become a Gotham City civilian and basically side with the Joker. And you had to break down clues, and there was a phone number. They flew over Comic-Con
That's right.
with a phone number in the sky. People were like, there's a phone number, and so basically they had. I can't remember the number now, but there was thousands and thousands of people that basically took to the streets, had photos taken in front of landmarks around the world, dressed up as a Joker, which is white face, red lips. And then, so that was that campaign. There was loads of other little clues they had to try and solve, but at this point everyone's talking about it. And then they did the other side of the coin, they did the Harvey Dent story. And they got everybody to then go,
Vote
March,
Harvey Dent
I
or
believe in
something.
Harvey
That's
Dent.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
it's
Was that an intentional pun?
I was going to say, it's very good,
It's
Lee.
part, well, the Toy
coin.
Story, yeah,
Very good,
Two-Face,
very
I don't know if you got it. But anyway,
He looks happy now, look.
Yeah, he's good.
but yes, and it was just so they got all these people to talk and tweet about the Dark Knight. I mean, the Dark Knight's pretty old now, so given that social media,
2008.
2000 years, social media back then, but and all that campaign didn't cost. Well, it would have cost a lot in terms of setting up the clues, websites, and plays. But the amount of people they got involved. You watch some of the
Press
campaign. You watch some of the. You've got people literally in streets with Harvey Dent banners. I mean, they must have produced it for them. And the badges, but
Yeah.
it's crazy to think that you get people behind something like that, and they do half your marketing for you. Do you
Yeah.
agree?
Yeah, they do.
Not all of
no?
it good, and controlling it would have been an issue. But
Yeah. Can we talk about Black Panther?
Yeah.
Because I think that's incredible what they've done with that film.
Go on, tell us what they did.
I don't know if anyone's seen it.
As we said last
Yeah,
week,
I've
the
seen
week
it.
before,
Marvel.
was the most tweeted film of
In
all
the-
time.
ever.
Okay.
And it had 35 million tweets, retweets, etc., which is massive. But because it's very culturally relevant, so people jumped onto the hashtags.
Yeah.
So Michelle Obama tweeted,
Yeah.
which got something like 250,000 retweets or something like that. And it was launched on, it was Black History Month when they launched
Right.
it. So everything was very,
Sounds very precise.
very
strategic,
clever,
wasn't it? It was
very
very
strategic.
strategic, very-
But they also started crowdsourcing, which was pretty amazing. So they've got the Boys and Girls of Harlem, which is like this. I don't know if everyone's heard of that, but it's basically for underprivileged kids, predominantly of colour. And they basically said that, okay, these kids, we want to show them this movie, where it's the cast is people of colour. Most of them are the people who wrote it, the people who. So it's very culturally relevant to them at that time. So we want to get them tickets. We want them to go and see. We want them to. So Ellen DeGeneres then paid for all their tickets. So they all went to watch this movie. And then that
they
kind
tweeted
of.
it as well, didn't they? They
They all
filmed
tweet,
it
and the
when
kids were like, "Yeah!"
Yeah.
And that was on Twitter, which had so many retweets, and it kind of snowballed.
Yeah.
And then after that, 200 other kind of copycat campaigns went on to then get children involved in the creativity of the movies, and that they should see it as it's almost like a bit of a movement. So then all that's happened, and it just giving pages, people donating to that in like the space of a week, they'd raised like $40,000.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You
So it
couldn't-
just snowballed. It was just
Everywhere you
massive.
turned, I can remember just around that time, everywhere you turn, whether it was an interview on TV, whether it was a tweet or someone talking about it on the radio, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Well,
I haven't seen it. I want to watch it.
I can't remember
I've
the
seen
main
the previews that
character.
are cool.
I don't know the main actor.
his name is.
I can't remember his name. Sorry, but he
Inspector Clouseau.
it might be him or his mate or his little anyway. He sort of jumped on the bandwagon. Who's the guy that's in The Great Showman? Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
He did it for Logan. So he was out in his car apparently, and when he first saw the billboard
Yeah.
for Logan, he's like, "Oh yeah, look, there's Logan," and he tweeted it live to his Twitter. And so the chap from Black Panther did the same. And all of this, like you say, all this marketing, all this.
It's just all those little
It's
kind
all those
of
little
things.
bits that have just added up,
Yeah.
like the signing of Kendrick Lamar to do the soundtrack.
And he's done the whole album. He's done a whole album on it, which trended. I think that got like 500,000 tweets just from his album that he produced.
Well, if you
it's
sign up
just
with
all
someone
of
like
that.
him, I think he's got 8 million followers
Yeah.
on Facebook.
So you're done, He's done an amazing
one
album
tweet
on
from
it.
him, you kind of off. But I mean, bearing in mind that you've got, I don't know, if you think of the superheroes, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, Black Panther, not really. I mean, I don't go out and actively read comics, but I know my superheroes. Black Panther, I'm not that like, but he stormed. I think originally before Infinity War came about, Black Panther was number 5, the top opening film
Really?
of all time. It's now number 9,
Yeah.
but because a few
Yeah.
things have jumped above it. But number 5, I think it's number 9 for a film that it's the first. It's a new IP in effect.
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
So it's crazy just to think all that
well,
push that.
Well, they did a fashion show. So for the first time ever, Disney, who's worked with Marvel on the film, did a whole fashion show at New York Fashion Week with the outfits from Black Panther. Like nothing like that's been done before. They found that 40% of ticket sales were from females. They started to target kind of different areas.
There's a
and
lot more
like-
females in Black Panther, and I've not seen it, but even from the trailers and even from the snippets that have been inserted into Infinity War,
Yeah.
you can see there's a lot more female actors
Yeah.
that have been used. Whereas with the Avengers,
It's quite empowering. I think it's very culturally relevant to people.
I think
and
they've tried-
that's why it's been so great. Because it's not like here's a trailer, here's a teaser to the trailer. They've gone beyond.
They've gone beyond. And
way beyond a marketing. It's about passion rather than actually just marketing it for the sake of marketing. They did it really well. They had Lexus do the Super Bowl ads, so Lexus sponsored the film. And they did the whole
tie-ins
Super
there
Bowl.
as
They've
well,
tied into
yeah.
there. So they've done the traditional, like, who's the car, like the James Bond, like what car are we with, and is it an Audi or is it a... But they've also done all the
Speaking of cars and cars,
crowdsourcing
I have to quickly mention Solo. I don't know if you've seen.
No.
yes, I've seen. I know what you're going to say.
There's an ad produced by Renault. I think it's Renault.
I think it is.
And this is the way I think not to do it. And I'm a Star
Totally
Wars
agree.
fan, but this is just so basically you've got a kid who's driving. His mum's driving him to the cinema. You don't know it at the start, but they're just driving along in their car. It's a new Renault. It's nice. And then the next thing you see, you've got like Star Wars things interacting with this journey. So you'll have a Millennium Falcon flying in the background.
Chewy as well.
You'll have Chewie on the top of it, Chewie. You'll have all these, and it is so sort of, it's nice, but it's Star Wars, and it's so ham-fisted. It's like, we've got to get as much Star Wars content into this as, oh look, and here's the car, and here's the smiles.
We've paid a lot of money for this collaboration. Let's use it.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's not like when...
It just seems so fake.
VW did the Star Wars one
Yeah,
with the
now that-
lightsaber. That was funny because that was sort of humorous and light-hearted, whereas this was just, we pay for this franchise, we're going to milk
And you feel
Use
it.
everything
I
we
felt
can.
like that with the Lexus stuff with Black Panther when I looked at it. I was just like, oh, you cheapened it. It doesn't seem real. You're shoehorning in a car, but it just seems tacky.
So there are great ways of doing it, and they're equally.
Yeah. Some ways that fall flat.
Yeah.
People see through.
But I guess when you've got, I mean, the marketing budget for this type of media must be huge. So I guess there must be a case where they're going to have a list of like, these are the surefire hits, these are the maybe, we're not sure where these are going to land, and then these are the ones that you just take a punt on.
Take the
And I guess
risk.
you take the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I had a quick look at the film It, just really quickly.
Oh, the remake.
I like that
the
film.
remake.
I like
Now,
the remake.
you guys were talking about kind of targeting earlier, and I thought it was a really good example because they knew they had two audiences. the old audience who had read the book or seen the TV series, who were all about nostalgia. You know, it was very much kind of themed in the late 80s, early 90s. So all about the nostalgia of it, you know, the remake of it, Stephen King. But then they had the new younger audience that they wanted to appeal to. So they mixed up their marketing techniques. They led with a lot of the nostalgic elements from the, you know, the yellow coat, I can't remember, the chopper bikes. But for the new audiences that they wanted to hook in, had never heard of it, they led with a lot of the new scares and the scare factor rather than nostalgia. So again, it was just very clever. They knew who they were trying to get on board, knew they had two completely different markets, and they targeted. If you look at their Twitter,
they did a lot on YouTube for the younger market.
A lot of targeting on there. And again, it was a really good example of actually how we can do it. And again, all the usual things.
Didn't they send like those red balloons?
Oh my goodness, yeah, to get the critics and the film studios on board and anyone who's going to be reviewing it or talking about it, they sent red balloon. You know, it was
that shot of that single red balloon.
And that's all it is. That's so powerful.
Red balloon, and then to someone else they sent the yellow Mac and the paper boat that disappears. And again, these were just special invites, so very exclusive. So the people who got these, you know, you've been invited to a preview screening. Yeah, and again, so then they go and then they write about it and they tweet what they've been. And again, it's just giving a marketing campaign for a movie its own legs to kind of run and snowball. And that's what they did very well.
Is if, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, they do these things called secret cinemas.
Yeah.
If they could marry up secret cinemas with the launch of a film, bearing in mind that the secret cinema stuff only really works because they've got enough time to go out and source the materials. But if a film company got behind one of those and said, right, we're going to launch a secret cinema, you can come along and be part of this whole event of this film and see, you know,
rather than just a premiere, you could see it before, like sneak peek.
Because the secret cinema, I mean, I've never been to one, but I've heard
about
it. The Blade Runner one they did, the Empire Strikes Back. And it's just like a gathering, all these people that come together, they don't talk about it, don't show it to anyone. So I guess that's where it might fall a bit flat, because you can't share it because they want it to keep
word of mouth, though.
But word of mouth.
But that's what it did as well. They did VR. So they invited a load of people to come to VR experiences all across the US. And it was called something like 991 DeWalt Street, where the house was. DeWalt Street, or something like that, where the house was. And you go into this fully immersive environment. You put on the headset. Well, check it out. But you put on the headset, and you're getting teasers from the movie. This is where it lives, and you know it's really good. And it's getting people going, "Oh, I want to watch this movie," you know. And it's kind of it's just a different way of doing it using technology.
I noticed you can watch trailers in virtual reality because you were watching one on HoloLens the other day when you was.
Yeah. It was a 360 trailer on HoloLens, and again, you know, companies harnessing technology to kind of give you a more immersive experience of what the movie is going to be.
Especially if it's something like a scary movie like It or something. You're going to be on the tenterhooks. It's going to be like, oh my goodness, I couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
I don't think we could do this without bringing up Pixar.
Yeah.
Can we?
Pixar.
You know, the amazing storytellers that they are. I picked up some stuff on Toy Story 3 and what they did, because we mentioned about targeting of audiences and things just now. Given that it was 15 years between the first Toy Story and the third Toy Story, they, as part of their marketing, they targeted college students, and that kind of, I saw Toy Story when I was a child. Now I'm at college, university. I'm going to want to see this third one. So they targeted them. They produced lots of hugging bear.
Yeah, because they produced real ones. They did real TV ads for that.
I remember seeing those. It had a 1980s-esque
like
feel to it.
Literally like someone's recorded it off their VHS cassette tape.
From whenever it was. I thought that was really a really nice thing to do, to drag in the audience.
Again, playing on you knowing your audience and that nostalgia and pulling on that. I like that.
Totally.
Bit of sentiment. I think with Pixar as well, I think the storytelling we know is absolutely amazing. I think even in a B2B environment where we rely on case studies, I think storytelling and the way they do it, they use the story arc where it's we have heroes, we have villains, we have problems, we have solutions, we have highs, we have lows. And I think when you're selling a product or something, you can really bring that into it, that emotional arc to get more engagement and actually create more interest in what you're talking about, because I think a lot of content, you know, can be quite dry.
I remember
and they do it beautifully.
The first time I saw Inside Out and the way they break down how the brain works.
It's very funny.
It's an educational piece as well as
that is immense. How they can get all that information out in the way they did it in a small amount of time, and you go, yeah, okay, I understand. I buy what you're trying to, you know. It was just brilliant. Yeah. And the way I don't know.
I think Lee looks like he could be in a Pixar movie.
He was in The Incredibles.
Oh, in The Incredibles.
The old guy with the balloon.
No,
No.
that's Luke's in movies.
In The Incredibles.
Yeah,
In The Incredibles.
the dude with the red hair.
No.
His name sounds like Toxic Syndrome,
Syndrome.
not Toxic Shock Syndrome. That's a
Syndrome.
completely different thing.
That really is.
Yes.
Well, Pixar have always, I think they're always ahead of the game and stuff like that. And I think, you know, I mean, Toy Story 3 is pretty old now. To do stuff like that
Still
back
brilliant
then,
though.
you know, and to produce, I mean, some of the marketing, the way, even like in the first one, they, you know, the buzz that was created around getting Buzz. You know, you couldn't get
Couldn't get
Buzz.
all the love nor money.
And so, you know, they're the original lunchbox sticker, you know, like the Star Wars lunchbox jaws, all that. They're the original marketers of pushing out that.
I think there's
Yeah.
a lot to be said, actually, just from looking at the movies and looking at what people do. There's a lot that can be learnt by companies.
Yeah,
Well, and,
definitely.
and a cultural movement as well. I always think if you can get the, like, I heard so much about The Greatest Showman before I'd ever seen The Greatest Showman, and there's so much marketing media out there that you can go and find more. That my kids last night.
And that's the point.
still
You're going
watching.
to find more. You're not. It's not finding you. You're going. Oh,
They're
and then
on
you find
YouTube
it.
finding the video about
Yeah.
when they first had to perform it to get greenlit. They're on there talking about. They're watching the dance moves. There's the people that choreograph the dance moves, teaching you how to dance. To the
Yeah.
Greatest Showman.
All those lovely
And
things.
it's just so
Let
just
it run.
going and going and going
Yeah.
because you've got so much good content.
Because
you
people
can
want
just
it.
keep putting out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts with good content.
Well, it does, doesn't it? And I think, yes, we've talked about movies today, but there's so much that we can all take from it from a
I
business
think it's so
point of
relevant.
view. Because essentially, what are they launching a product? Yes, there's an emotional attachment that you're going to get to that product because it's going to absorb you as part of a film. You're going to love it or you're going to hate it. It's going to be something you're going to watch or something you're not.
You're going to buy
But-
into it like anything.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're selling a product, you're selling a thing, you're selling your business, there's certainly links there. And you know, how can you make it interesting? How can you get
tease
people
content?
engaged in it? How can you work out who your audience is and what it is that's really going to turn them on and make them want to take part in it, grab hold of it, have it, touch it, feel it. You know?
Well, they almost own it. And they almost
Yeah.
want to then self-promote it themselves.
It's like here's a little bit.
It's
That's
like-
all you're gonna get. Here's a little bit. That's all you're gonna get. That's what it's
Well,
like.
yeah,
You're
it's
like,
like
oh.
when you go and you know you market it to, you'll think, yeah, you align with it, yeah, oh, I don't like that, or I do like that. And then if they've got you, then it's like, right, okay, you go see it, and then, oh, I really like that bit.
And then you talk
and
about
then
it,
you go
and
talk
then
about it.
Yeah.
And there's that bit with X-Force and Deadpool 2 that you will just, it is the most funniest.
What
It's
was
just
that? Was
hilarious.
that
X-Force was just fun. I can't talk
Then we have
about
to go and see it.
You have to
Okay.
go and see it.
Spoiler alert.
It's
Nice.
good. It's good.
Okay.
I think that's it. Anybody else want to cover anything else on?
No, I think I could
so.
talk about this for quite a long
I
time.
think we could,
it's-
yeah.
Right, well, I think that's it. Is that it?
Yeah, no, that's
we're done. We've all got to crack on. I've got a cough. Sorry. So, if you want to get in touch, please don't forget to subscribe and also get in touch. Subscribe and you can go look back at all of our BDAchats. There's now 26 of them. Just waiting there on YouTube for you to go and have a look and leave some feedback or get in touch. You can get in touch with us on our social media streams at Thinkbda on Twitter, on LinkedIn and Instagram. That's it for this week. We'll be back next week. I can't wait. I'm sure you can't too.
I'm chomping at the bit.
Absolutely.
Peace out. Love ya. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.